Have you ever trusted someone with your art, your time, your energy, just for them to turn around and try to hold your own work hostage? That's what happened to me. A so called producer I thought was cool tried to extort me for my own stems. But instead of me doing something crazy and something dumb and something that will get me into a lot of trouble, I'm just gonna talk to you guys about it. Okay? And this isn't a game of he said, she said. I got receipts. So let's get into it. But before I show you the screenshots and get into the realty, let me break down how this all went. So we'll call him Jim. I knew Jim from back in my days when I was a photographer back in like 2017, 2018 type stuff. I already had like slight like history with Cuz. I realized that homeboy had a studio, and I was like, oh, well, I was in the market for a producer. I thought it all made sense. I already know him at the time. I'm like, he's cool. I never heard no weird shit about him. Let's see what he can do, right? But I ended up at the studio one day when him and a whole bunch of other people were at the studio, and I wasn't even planning on recording. To be honest, I was just um, going to hang out. I'm like, fuck it, I might as well. So I asked him how much the studio time is. He told me 25. That right there should have been a red flag, but we'll get to that. Now, normally when I go to the studio, I already have an idea in my head. I'm already logged in, got a beat and everything. This time, since I wasn't planning on actually recording, I just had a couple ideas I wanted to jot down. I was trying to hurry up and get through the 1 hour so I could get as much as I could in that 1 hour. He told me specifically, hey sis, don't even worry about it. You family. You don't gotta rush to get through in an hour. It's okay. You all good. And I was like, okay, thanks for telling me that because I was trying to get through because I wasn't. So he told me $25. That session went on for about maybe 2.5, maybe 3 hours. There was a girl who came in and she wanted to hop on, and so we had hers. Everything was cool. We made a cool little song. So this is where all the problems started now that I'm looking back at it in hindsight. I will admit, this is a disclaimer. This is where the communication got split up for me. Okay?
Wait. Let me think.
Okay? This is where I feel like things got lost in translation, and this is where I will take accountability for myself in this situation. Him and his friend co-run the studio. Jim doesn't actually mix and master, he just records. He actually charges $35 because he gave me a discount, I guess because it was my first time and he was trying to look out. Cool. His partner, who I'll call Steve, is the one who mixes and masters. They charge $35 for recording and $50 for mix and master. This is information that I got after the fact. What he told me was, yeah, so me and my bro run the space and like I'll record, I send it over to him and then he masters it. Never at any time was I told about the $50 mix and master price. I was only told $35 and my homeboy Steve mixes and masters it, right? In my mind, that money I paid him was going to be for a mix and a master. Because at this point in time, I didn't understand that they had two different pricings. I don't need somebody to record me some demo. I do those at home and get practice ready. When I go to the studio, I expect a mix and a master. I expect to pay for a mix and a master. That's just the standard I'm used to. Okay? And I'm gonna have to take accountability for one, that I cannot assume that everybody's gonna operate at the level that I and the people around me that I actually want to work with operate on.
Got it. Noted. You're a weird bitch.
Two, this was a learning lesson. I didn't know niggas charged for just recording.
Whoa, you guys are delusion.
I didn't know that. I thought everybody was just charging for a mix and a master. So that's my fault, right? Because I would have never recorded with him in the first place. I never would have did it. I wouldn't, because that was a waste of money. I went to him twice. I went to him That time I just told you about, and I went to him for like another 2 hour session a few weeks after that, and here's the proof of that. This is him sending me back the songs. You see the dates is May 26th. The second time I had went to the studio with him for a 2 hour session, I messaged him before I was going to send him the deposit for the 2 hour studio session to lock it in. I asked him, I'm about to send that over. Did your homie ever master the song we recorded the other day? Jim says he moved 45 minutes out, so he's been out of commission, but rest assured that'll get done this weekend. He just got settled type. I said, bet. And then I asked him if I bought my hard drive, would you be able to read my stems? And he said, yeah, for sure. Had no fucking problems.
Nigga, did you know that I can see you?
Right? At no point in time was I under the impression that I had to pay more money to get a mix and a master, right? So let's get into the real meat and potatoes of everything, because this is what y'all been waiting for. That wasn't the only message that I had asked him checking up on my masters. And every time his reply would be to deflect and put it back onto his homie, and how his homie moved, and how his homie don't have time, and how Steve is busy but he'll get it done. And that message was like the beginning of June. I give niggas time. I give them over about a month. I messaged Steve because Steve hit me up outside of Jim. He hit me up independently. Message from Steve. He said, feel free to contact me to come and see the space, book a session, or for any other inquiries. And then that was a regular type thing, right? That was back in March. Before I start popping off and running my shit, I text Steve. And I'm like, hey Steve, it's Loren. Hope all is well. You gave me your number a few months ago on IG to book studio time. I recorded 3 songs at the end of May, beginning of June with Jim. He told me that he records / mixes and you master. It's almost been 2 months and I haven't received a master yet. I'm reaching out to get a better understanding of what's going on. Nothing. He left me on red.
Is this nigga serious?
What if Steve doesn't even know that he's being thrown under the bus? And before I start again popping off and losing my mind, I'm like, let me hit this motherfucker up and see what's up. A couple days went past, still haven't heard nothing. At this point in time, I messaged Jim because I'm like, I'm not getting these masters, and I want my shit mastered. I want to know what it's gonna sound like. I messaged Jim and I'm like, yo, can you just email me my stems? Because I'm gonna have to get these mastered somewhere else. This was June 8th. I said, can you email my stems to me? I'm gonna have to get these tracks mastered somewhere else. He says, I'll do it the next time I go to the studio. That was on June 8th. That was on July 8th, right? Another week passed. I didn't hear from Steve. I didn't hear from Jim. And so I hopped back into Jim's DMs. There's no date. Sorry. There's no date. So I said, it's been a week. What's good with my stems? You're giving me the runaround. I even hit up your boy and he didn't reply. So what's the real deal? He said, like I told you, I'll send your stems the next time I'm in the studio. It's obvious I haven't been in the studio if you haven't received your stems yet.
Wait, let me think.
I told him to lose the attitude. Obviously something's going on because he unfollowed me. I forgot to tell y'all that. He unfollowed me for some reason.
You're not making any sense, bro.
And I'm just like, okay, but we'll get into that. I said, lose the attitude. Obviously something's going on because you unfollow me for what? I've been respectful and patient for over a month. Your disorganization and lack of planning isn't my problem. Maybe this line of work isn't for you if you can't even do something as simple as email me some stems. And anybody would reasonably be upset in this situation. I'm not the bad guy here, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. I said, don't charge for a service you can't provide, simple as that. Then he replies back with some other stuff that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. He said, bruh, first of all, I unfollowed you because I don't deal with people who always play victim panhandling. That shit's whack. Get off your ass like the rest of us, facts. I missed that part. That's crazy. He can't pay bills by himself, but telling me to get off my ass. That's crazy. But okay. He said, secondly, like I told you, when I go to the store, I'll email you stuff. I'm not obligated to do anything. You paid me $25 for a recording session. You want to talk about professionalism, you never paid full price for anything. And I was nothing but patient with you the whole process. If you care that much about these stems, you would have made time to get them. I don't got time for that bullshit. Take that somewhere else. Facts. There was some bit missing, but I said I never paid full price because you gave me those prices. The fuck are you talking about? So you're mad that you didn't charge me full price? I said you told me it was cool that one day, and I paid 35 for 2 hours, and I didn't even get a full 2 hours. You bugging for sure, fam. Not my fault you didn't enforce your rules. He said, you know what? Fuck that. You want your stems pay me? Fuck out of here.
Let me remind y'all, bro. When school was over, when high school was done, they just freed all the special ed kids out into the world, didn't tell us who was who or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Our whole lives in school, we were separated. We knew who were who. We knew, all right, if they get the tripping, don't even pay them no mind, they special ed, you know what I'm saying? After high school, they let them out into society, and we don't know, bruh. So if somebody trying you, just remember, they probably them. That's probably them right there.
I said, I already did. He said, you'll get your stems when I get paid. I said, paid for what, bro? Paid for what? At this point, I'm just like, I'm dealing with a child, right? So I end up blocking him, and then he says, I said, I already did. You'll get your stems when I get paid. I said, I ain't paying for no mediocre ass mix. That's why you charge so low. Don't contact me unless you got my full amount.
What?
And I blocked him. I wanted to show that the second time I went to the studio with him to record with him, I paid. You can see I paid the studio deposit and for the actual studio time. $70, $35 each. And I only got an hour and a half, mind you, too. I didn't even finish the full 2 hours, and he wants to talk about somebody getting off their ass and getting to it. Homeboy can't even sit still for 2 hours straight talking about my songs and me panhandling. Sorry, I come to the studio to get my feelings out. You want to act like you're a professional businessman. That's all I'm saying. It's August 4th, and a lot of time has passed, and rereading those messages opened my eyes to a lot of things. One, homeboy don't know me, and he really don't know me because he told me I gotta get off my ass and get it like everybody else. And that's crazy work because he has no clue what I went through. He probably just sees my pretty light-skinned ass and just assumes that everybody just take care of me or whatever. And I don't know why that's sticking with me, but like I bust my ass. I probably bust my ass harder than him. You mean to tell me your ass hasn't been in the studio for over a week, but you want to call yourself a producer and charge people, and you can't even be in the studio every day? Why don't you get off your ass and get it like the rest of us? Facts. You know, you don't have your own 2-bedroom, 2.5-bedroom apartment, a car that's paid off, and make $22 an hour if you ain't getting up and getting to it. Praise Jesus. Amen. But God only rewards hard work and discipline. Getting off my ass and getting bitch ass nigga. Why don't you get off your ass and go to the studio and give me my stems? So obviously I'm still pissed about it a little bit because who the fuck are you? But I will take accountability. I don't know any musician who is paying for a recording. Most musicians, when they go to the studio, are paying for a mix and master. But you can leave a comment in the comment section, lets me know if I'm wrong. Where I am wrong in this situation was my lack of an understanding on their difference between recording and mix and master, and what he was specifically charging. In saying that, I probably could have approached the situation a little bit better, right? Between Steve not hitting me back up to Jim repeatedly telling me that I'm going to get my master. Steve was just down because he moved, and and he kept pushing it back every time. I asked him multiple times about those fucking masters. He didn't even tell me in those messages of him being upset how much he really wanted and how much I still owed him. Why would I pay you for you to send me my stems? What makes me trust you with my money, bro? The thing that really teased me off is, if I did pay the $50 for a master, would I have even gotten it?
Wait. Let me think.
And then who would have recorded the mix and master? Would it have been Jim or would it have been Steve? Because I'm gonna be honest. Since Jim doesn't mix and master, I don't want to go to Jim. I want to go to Steve for everything, because he mixes and masters. But even when I hit up Steve, he didn't even reply back. I refuse to be gaslit in this situation, bro, because there's so much weird shit happening here. The fact that he flipped the script and started to try to extort me for money that he never asked me for in the beginning. And the fact that it was never explained to me that I owed more money for a mix and a master. I have to go off of my first message to him about he's giving me the runaround. It's giving that even though I had a miscommunication, even though I could have approached the situation a little bit better, doesn't negate the fact that homeboy is acting weird as fuck. Jim and Steve were acting weird as hell. And I'm gonna leave it where it's at. Like, straight up. Like, I mean, like, I hate that me and him had to like argue like that, but like, this wasn't cool by any means at all. Nobody who I was talking about, myself included, is mainstream. We're not popping. We're not, rich. We're just a bunch of people who are just trying to partake in a hobby and follow their dreams, right? It's very hard to find men who are genuinely passionate about what they do and who aren't in their feelings and aren't putting you in a box because you're a woman and they might have some weird ideas about how you should live your life and how you should behave. But I'm going somewhere and God don't want me to include them in that mission. So I'm gonna go hit up my old producer and we are gonna re-record that song that I recorded that day that I still haven't got my masters on. And to be honest, I wanted to re-record it, but like I'm gonna re-record it regardless. So, and I'm gonna get it mixed and mastered, and I'm gonna drop it for you guys, cause it's a good ass fucking song, man. It's so good, like. And I'm not gonna let none of this stop me, man. I just had to kind of talk about it, talk it out, get this talk therapy in. And shit happens, and you can't really allow things to hinder you, set you back too much. This sucks. Because I really thought he was a cool person. I really thought he was cool people. I really thought they was doing some good work over there, but they're not. Either way, I love y'all. If you've had any type of similar situations, leave a comment below. Like, subscribe, share the video. And I love y'all. Have a blessed day, and God